You are all weirdos.
Weird science
is the revolution.
Weird science
is the revolution.
Weird science
is the revolution.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Weird Science Manga and Anime Podcast. This is the Jujutsu Kaisen Reading Club podcast we're doing here, and we're going to be jumping into Chapter 2. I'm here with my man, Luke. What up, Luke?
Oh, what up, Jim?
What up, Luke? And we are here, like I said, to do Chapter 2. We're going to jump right into this. I will, again, if you've been listening to the other reading clubs each day, you will know already, but we're going to start giving scores by the end. We think that is something that gives you more of an idea of what we end up feeling for the chapter. And really, I was afraid that maybe negative scores would kind of turn some people off in a reading club, but there's not going to be that many negative scores here. We have some bangers that we're doing.
Bangers?
Yeah. There's one thing of having a down issue. There's not many bad ones in the whole lot. So we're going to jump into this. What is this chapter, Luke?
This is the Jujutsu Kaisen's Chapter 2, Secret Execution. Oh, my goodness.
Secret Execution. And yeah, at the end of last chapter, you had the idea that Itadori, our main character, he eats what is the finger of Sukuna, the cursed object, and ends up becoming a demon. All these things going on to then lead to the idea we're going to have to take you back and execute you. And that's kind of how that chapter ended. Oh my God, what's going to happen? Well, we start off where you end up having Itadori wake up, and he is in a room with a bunch of talismans tacked to the wall. Even there where he realizes he's all tied up to a chair. The ropes even have it. It's really cool. I really like that look there. And there is a character that we don't know yet, but his name, and we find out a big character in it, Gojo, who ends up saying, like, listen, you're going to be executed. We're going to execute you because you are now possessed by a demon. Now, with all of that, the execution has been stayed. It's kind of like a weird, like almost like a mini cliffhanger. Oh, my God, execute. Oh, well, we're not going to execute you just yet. We're kind of intrigued. And you know why we're intrigued? Because, boom, we go to a flashback. And when we talk about if you're new to the manga, this is why I love the idea of having the black panels, the spaces being black, because you know it's
very
a flashback.
Easy to follow.
You just know right away, because this might be confusing. And I'd rather have this where then you know exactly when it ends, when it begins, than well, you know, yesterday, ... or something, because you do end up seeing after, you know, you had the deal where Itadori had turned into this demon and then came back, and you had Fushiguro saying, oh, we're going to have to take you back and take care of you. This Gojo, he ended up showing up. He ends up like out of nowhere. He just shows up. Hey, what up, guys? And he is there. Like the idea of seeing him kind of menacing in the first couple pages, then to get to him, he is kind of a jokester a little.
He's a real goofball.
Yeah, he does not really seem to take things serious, but we are told and see he's pretty powerful. He is one of the best. And so he can take it a little light, where he said that HQ had sent him to kind of check in on things, because maybe Fushiguro, being a student, wouldn't know everything. This cursed object might cause problems. So he shows up. He actually went and got food ahead of time. He's, hey, what up? And that actually explains, like, it's funny, he went sightseeing and got food. That explains why he's just showing up now, when really they could have used him before. But maybe if he was there, Itadori might not be alive. You might have had that big attack, because, of course, that probably would have been the Sukuna versus the Gojo attack then, and all going on. But he's trying to figure out, okay, what's going on? I like how he's just observing Itadori, like, let me see. What do you look like? All right, how do you feel? He's like, yeah, I feel okay. And then the big thing right away that can you switch back and forth? And he says Sukuna, so we see that is the name of this demon. And he says, can you switch back and forth? Be able to do that? And he's like, I guess. I mean, they haven't done much, for him to really know. And he gives him a deal. Okay, 10 seconds. I'm going to have you right now. You're going to turn into Sukuna. And then in 10 seconds flat, you turn back. At that point, and I'll realize, yeah, it's pretty cool. And so they're going to do this.
Pressure.
And yeah, no pressure. And you do get that. And I'll give it to you, because then we get a fight. But you do use this fight to show that Gojo, he's pretty tough. And not even just tough, but he is just really good. He's one of those guys where people are fighting and he's not even like he could just turn aside.
He ain't even breaking a sweat.
At points, not even looking at where what we're led to believe is this huge demon and this whole thing that was really powerful. But we'll learn why it's not quite that yet. But you go with it because they're fighting and it's pretty cool. I mean, I like the fight. It's very easy to follow and very quick, right?
It is. Well, first of all, he's more concerned with the souvenirs because he throws it over to Fushiguro. Make sure you look after these. These are going to be my snacks on the way home in the bullet train. And meanwhile, we do see, I like Sukune. He doesn't even wait for an opportunity. He just jumps right in, starts swinging. And as you said, Gojo, he's not really too concerned. He's able to handle this super powerful demon that's been a cursed spirit that's been a big problem for all these years. He's able to handle it, not too much of a worry. And we do see this Sakura, he's not happy. He doesn't like the Jujutsu sorcerers. And then we do see Gojo just hits him with the rumble attack. We don't know what his power is right about now, but we do know that whatever it is, if it's gravity, he's able to land some powerful attacks. That's all we know at this stage. And then he is counting down. He's 7, 8, 9, and then time's up. Should be about time for Itadori to take control again. And we do see that the kid was spot on. He's able to take control after 10 seconds. All the tattoos go away. That's the key sign that we know that Itadori's back in the driver's seat. And he doesn't even know what happened. All he knows is that the roof's in a big mess now. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. And I think that was an important thing, too. You're establishing some rules of when he becomes the demon Sukuna, that he does not remember those. I like this then where what's it like? What's it like when you're inside and whatnot? He's annoying. It's the worst. He's like, okay, Buddha Bing, and touches his forehead. Boom, knocks him out. It's that special move. And I do like the idea that because we start off almost like we are the point of view of Itadori coming out of that and being in that. But I like that you stick around here after Itadori there is so you know then what happened. Because you end up having Fushiguro's like, oh, what did you just do? He's like, I just knocked him out. He'll be fine. We'll figure this out. He might have potential as a vessel. And in my mind, of other things that we're reading, I'm not getting, and I don't think you're supposed to get exactly what that means yet. But I'm thinking of stuff. I mean, I hate to say it. I think of Kaiju number 8. The idea maybe they have something else that they can make them, get in, whatever. But that is the big deal. And then you have Fushiguro who ends up saying, we're probably going to have to execute him. But I don't want him to die. But he should. But I don't want him. Hey, there goes. Can you do something about it? Because you're kind of better and bigger and whatnot. And he ends up, let me figure this out. And we'll figure it out. And that's why you get that stay of execution, because all the elders, everybody, the higher ups, you'd have to do it. The letter of the law, they even say, that's where Fushiguro, it says you have to execute them. This is different. And this is special because of that deal where he showed he can turn it on and off. So this vessel deal is crazy because then you do see, and it actually shocked me with this, where Gojo pulls out another finger and says, hey, see this? This is another one of Sukuna's fingers.
Here's what I made earlier.
You're now spelling out what we always say, the mission statement. The idea that got to catch them all because there are 20 fingers that you have to get. And they have 6 of them. He has eaten one. So with that, the big thing, and he throws the finger and it just explodes the wall. And then I like where he's like, ooh, I shouldn't have wrecked that wall. But he gets it. But he's trying to show each one of these is bad, but all of them combined are crazy. But the big play here is if you end up executing Itadori, that also kills Sukuna inside of him. That's not, and so with that though, he only has 1 finger. So what does that kill? It kills a little, whatever. May lessen the overall power, but so what they have decided. We have to find the 20 fingers, and there is a funny play where he's like, there's 20, and Itadori's like, there's 2 arms and 2 legs. I get it. He's like, no, he has 4 arms. I'm like, okay, I don't want to. And we said we don't want to eat toes. But the big play here is we're gonna go and we're gonna find all these fingers. You're gonna eat them. You'll get more and more power. So there is that weird, it's such a cool setup, and it's one of those things that. It's like the lucky happenstance of it, of how cool it is, because as he eats more fingers, he gets more powerful. that could lead then to Sukuna being able to take over it, but they're going to go with this of the idea when you eat all of them, then we kill you, and then we kill Sukuna. But you have to be down with that. You know, we could kill you right now. You won't have to deal with that. But if you want to help us out, you get these fingers. We're still going to kill you. Like the plan A and plan B still ends up with Itadori dying, being executed. But he starts to think, and this would be, and he wants to know things from Gojo. Oh, are these demons bad? Yeah, they're pretty bad. Would people die if I don't do it? Yeah, then probably a lot of people. It's really bad. The Sukuna, big bad. You'd be able to really save a lot of lives. And he does think back to Gramps, who Gramps said, you know, please help people. You should be people. It's funny because he also says at the one point, I think I'll do this. And we'll see why, and he has other reasons with it that we'll get to. But also, this seems to click in his head of this will be able to give that death that Gramps wanted, that, you know, him to have people around him,
surrounded
a lot of friends.
people.
Yeah. So he goes off, and that's the big deal. Die now or find the remaining parts of Sukuna and die after taking it all into your body. And we do see he eats another finger here. That is how the chapter kind of ends. But before that, he goes off, we get a cult club, hardly knew you, we said, with Sasaki, and also Aguchi. Aguchi is
having problems.
Oh, my God. Aguchi looks like he's in big trouble.
He looks like a burn victim.
Yeah, he is done. Now, he ended up, and she doesn't quite remember anything that happened. She can't really connect the idea that Itadori and all this was she's like, oh man, it was crazy. And he's like, it's my fault. No. And she's like, oh, it's my fault. No. They're trying to go with that. But they talk about the idea that Aguchi, he's not doing well. He's not doing, you see him there and you're like, oh my goodness, that's the worst. But yeah, it's funny too, because you do end up having Itadori really he explains the craziness of what went on and what happened. He blames himself because it seemed like he was the one who grabbed that accursed object deal in the first place. And then they went, and she says, I shouldn't have went to the school that night with Aguchi, but we did, and now he's like that. But says, I think I'm going to be able to get somebody to help. I'm going to send somebody over here to help. I can do that. I'm kind of in tight with people because I ate the demon fingers. And then he goes off to say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. After he says again, a lot of people get hurt. Yes. Would this stop it? Yes. All right. Let's see what I have to do. Let me eat another finger. This one, I don't know. I don't know why this one looks even worse with that nail. I mean, it looks horrible.
Yeah, it's going to be scratchy on the way down. Oh, jeez.
And I'm telling you, the weird thing about it is he's even playing it off. That first time, it was all adrenaline going up. He did it, this heroic deal. Now that he's just sitting on a bench with Gojo getting this, he's like, it really looks disgusting. Like, it really goes. And this point, he's not really enjoying the taste either.
No.
But when he downs it, you end up having Sukuna kind of try to fight with this. It's, more power. But you do see that Gojo is ready to see if something goes on, he's going to take care of this. And it could be the end right here. But you end up and it plays off. Sukuna's almost like heartburn really quick. Eat the finger. Oh my God, I'm turning it. No, I'm okay. And goes, gross. And then he's like, so gross, I can laugh. I'm like, no, it's just gross. But you have that where you also have Gojo realize, like, this kid kind of has something here. I mean, he is able to do it. We do. And then we find out more. And that's why I like this chapter as you go, the progressions and the pacing. I think it's really good because then we get a throw in there that we usually get in this. It is kind of a trope or a cliche, but every 1,000 years or so, there is a person who has this ability that appears. So that shows you that, Itadori, the Tiger of West Junior High.
Oh, yeah.
He's special, which actually goes back. That's why he could throw that shot put and do all those. It really does play out that he is something special. And just to go with, our other reading clubs and things where you end up having All Might have to train, Midoriya to take the All for One power. This is how Itadori already had that. He has that power to consume these things, and it seems like he's going to be able to fight it off. So he might really be that vessel that they need. And it's not going to be easy, though. It's going to be hard. It's going to end up with him dead. Gojo even says, are you ready? We're going to do this. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to eat the rest of that Sukuna. That's what I'm going to do, because he thinks back at his Gramps to get all that going and whatnot. Now, with that, too, you have to realize that Fushiguro, he's concerned. The minute that Itadori comes out, he says, where's Fushiguro? Like, he's afraid that he's still hurt because he got knocked out then. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he ends up, and you see that they're kind of this weird friendship already. Aww. And then we get the hint that there could be school shenanigans.
School shenanigans?
It's such a weird play, like a cliffhanger, like, what? Because, yeah, Fushiguro, oh, by the way, you're going to go with me to Tokyo Prefectural Jujutsu Specialty High School. And he's like, really? High school? That'd be awesome with you. And he's like, no, you're like a first year. And there's only 3 students. Only 3? Like, that's supposed to be the big cliffhanger.
Say what?
I don't know about that. Like, last chapter, you had him eating a demon finger, becoming a demon. Now, there's a cliffhanger, but the idea...
Yeah, a bit of a downgrade this week.
Only 3 students? Oh, my goodness. What are we going to do? And all I can think of is, thank God, we only have 3 people, then we would have to pay. That's good.
There you go. We can remember the names.
Like, that is really, really good to me. You only have 500, so no, 500. Let's name them all. But yeah, so you get everything that we needed here. We find out what the mission is. It is a collection deal. A lot of these are, but it's unique in having to find these fingers and eat them. So that's cool. You get introduced to Gojo, who's a really cool character. I like his little quirkiness in that, where even when he ends up handing the bag of stuff to Fushiguro when he's actually going to fight the demon Sukuna there, you got souvenir. That's not a souvenir. He's like, they're just weird stuff like that was fun. And then just getting more of that world and the idea of, Itadori is special in this way that you don't really have more than once every thousands or so years. The idea they're going to use him, but he's going to do what Grandpa said. I thought it was really well played out, really good. How about you?
I liked it a lot. It does a good job. Like with My Hero, there's not a lot of wasted space here. And it does a good job because that was one heck of a cliffhanger that we left it on last week. But it covers a lot of ground. It has the cold open, and then it covers all that stuff with Gojo. We get introduced to Gojo. Very interesting character, and he'll be a very important player going forward. But having all that, having the game plan set up, and then even having a nice bit of feels with the cult club back, and Iguchi having problems.
R.I.P.
We hardly knew ye. But it did a good job of showing that Itadori, kind of like with what Tanjiro was in Demon Slayer, he's a really good kid. And we have all this crazy stuff going on with eating fingers, but underneath it all, he's just a gem of a good kid. And then we do have the game plan going forward, and then the big twist is high school shenanigans. So yes, I did like it quite a bit. I'm going to go with a solid 8.8.
I'm going 9. I'm going to up your ante there. Also, when we talk about some things, one of the big things in manga that I really like is usually you go with the idea when you first are introduced to a character, one of the things are the design, the character design, if they have something kind of cool or whatever. And having Gojo with that bandana across his eyes, where nobody bats an eye about it, that's not a pun, but the idea, like, that's cool. And also he has like Naruto hair, so I'm like, I'm in. I really like that look with that bandana across his face and around his eyes with nobody really even asking what that does or how he does it. So I really thought that was a cool deal. But yeah, I'm a 9 out of 10. I really like it, and I'm glad that I'm glad that we picked all of them. The biggest problem was not enough days to have even more. We have a couple other ones waiting in the wings that we wanted to do as well, but this was always on the list. So I'm glad that it is. So with that, we will head off. We'll be back again next week for chapter 3. We'll see how the school shenanigans go. Hopefully right off the bat. But with that, go over to Twitter at Weird Manga. Follow us. We'll follow you back. Then go to our Patreon, patreon.com/Weird Science Manga to help us out for all of these shows that we do. If you want to give us a little bit of inspiration or a little, thank you. But also with that, you get a lot of these shows in advance. The Manga Monday show and all the reading clubs will have advanced deal of the stuff, so you can kind of jump in and get ahead and have some fun. So with that, thank you, Luke, for joining me. Thanks, everybody, for listening. I will mention real quick, also rate and review us. It'd be kind of nice, right?
Bada bing.
We wouldn't mind that. Every day I
You
look,
like
still
that?
none. So yeah, you could do
Aw.
that, and especially on the Apple Podcast. I'll be so happy when it happens. But with all of that, we will talk to you next week.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science.
It's the revolution.
Weird science.
It's the revolution.
Weird science.
It's the revolution.